Turkey is launching more attacks against ISIL in Syria and targets Kurdish militants in Iraq. For the latest, we're going to turn to CCTV's Michal Bardavid in Istanbul and tell us more about this. What is going on?
Yes, Susan, Turkey is facing a big challenge as it is fighting on two fronts. On the one side, it's fighting against ISIL. On the other side, it's fighting against the PKK. Meanwhile, Turkey faced another attack in Istanbul, this time against Turkish police. 3 police officers were wounded and the assailants have not been caught. Let's take a closer look now at Turkey's recent efforts against terrorism. Turkey continues its military operation against terrorism. On Saturday, the Prime Minister's office announced it had targeted the Kurdistan Workers Party, or PKK, in northern Iraq, with airstrikes hitting warehouses, logistical points, and shelters belonging to the group. The army also carried out ground operations against the PKK in northern Syria. These attacks are expected to damage the ongoing peace process between Turkey and Kurdish rebels, who've been observing a ceasefire since 2013. The Turkish Prime Minister has emphasized the PKK was at fault.
The PKK has exploited the peace process. We will take a clear stance towards anyone who tries to harm the public peace and order.
Turkey recently faced back-to-back small-scale deadly attacks, especially against its police force. A branch of the PKK had claimed responsibility for killing 2 Turkish police officers on July 22nd. Meanwhile, Turkey has agreed to allow the U.S. to use the Incirlik air base to launch airstrikes against ISIL. Many in Turkey fear that the opening of the Incirlik air base may spark retaliation from the terrorist group ISIL. However, the government has announced these operations will continue steadily and with no distinction made on terrorist organizations. Local media have reported that within the scope of the agreement between Turkey and the U.S., there are also elements regarding a buffer zone which Turkey has been pushing for. Following a question regarding this issue, the Turkish foreign minister stated it would be created organically.
The goal is to eliminate ISIL. Once we destroy the threat of ISIL in Syria and in Iraq, then a buffer zone will naturally evolve.
The Turkish government has repeatedly stated that the operations against terrorism would continue steadily until all security threats are removed. It is safe to say more military attacks and an increase of violence are expected in the region. As the government is taking the recent attacks very seriously, the parliament is set to convene on July 29th on Wednesday for an extraordinary security meeting.